Alright, I'm going to prepare the hooks. Now I'm going to take 2 size 10 hooks and 2 size 7 hooks. I wouldn't go any bigger than size 10. I'm going to take a piece of electrical tape. Press one to it. Press the other one to it. Now that I have all 4 hooks in there, fold over the electrical tape to make sure it's not going to poke through. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing to our swivels. Now we're going to take our 10 feet of paracord. Since I'm using 2 different colors, I cut off 5 feet of paracord and then another 5 feet. Now take one of your ends, pull about 1 inch to 2 inches of the innards out. We're going to take a lighter and singe the innards, that way they don't fray internally. Go further down the paracord, pinch it off, and with your other hand slide back to the end. I'll get the innards to go back inside. Now I'm going to put a screwdriver inside, take a lighter, and carefully singe the end of that. Don't do it too much because you don't want it tight, you just want to make sure it's not going to keep fraying on you. Now feed your split shot weights through. Alright, once you've got all 4 in there, we're going to take the other end of our paracord that we either cut off from this or from the other 5-foot section. Singe that together and kind of give it a point. Feed that point in with the weights. Once in, take a lighter and singe them together. We've folded the paracord in half. Now we're going to take one end from our inch buckle. This is one of the types of buckles that have the curve to it, so it will fit nicely to the wrist. Now feed that loop through. Once you've got a bit of a loop, we're going to take the 2 strands from the other side of it and feed them through. Now we're going to pull it tight. Now this is the section that has our weights. You can choose to have this right up against it, in which case you just feed a little bit through if you haven't done it from the beginning. Just try to keep it within the 6-inch section. Now we're going to feed it through our fingers to get to the other side. We're going to feed that through as well. Now the reason I said feed it through our fingers is, notice the curvature? We want to make sure that's all going to match up on the other side. So we don't want this twisting at the other end. Because once we've got all this braided together, we're not going to want to find out that it goes like this at the end. So make sure they're going to come together like that. Alright, now this is the time you want to fit it to your wrist. Now pinch that off with our finger so it doesn't slide out. Now we're going to feed it through the other slit up top. Now you may notice how there's space on each side of the string. We're going to take the end of the string that's on each side and feed it back through. Do the same on the other side. Now make sure again that it didn't come undone at all. Alright, once you know you've got the right wrist length, we're going to put the other strands aside. We're going to take our fishing line, tie it off at the end where the excess string is. Alright, now wrap the amount of fishing line you want around the two center lines. A quick way that I found to do it is to set up your fishing line and then just twist the bracelet in your fingers. When you feel like you've got enough fishing line wrapped around it, just wrap the end of the line with the electrical tape so it doesn't come undone. Alright, now just snip off your excess. Alright, now we're going to want to cut off a strip of electrical tape. Take our swivels, put it in the center of it. Now we're going to put the swivels onto our center lines. Now we're going to do the same thing with our fishing hooks. Now wrap the entire center line in electrical tape. Wrap it as tight as you can get it. Always remember to check the width to make sure it's the right length to go around your wrist. See, after wrapping all the electrical tape and the fishing line around, it has gotten a little tighter. So we're just going to feed a little bit of the excess through to give us a little more slack. Alright, we're going to wrap it with a Cobra weave. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. We're going to take our line on the right, put it over completely, so we have the loop. Take our line on the left, we're going to go over the excess of the line on the right, around the back, and through the loop. Pull it tight. Now we do the same thing again, except this time, left over, right over excess of left line, behind the entire thing, and through the loop. then tighten it. And repeat. Alright, we're going to continue this all the way down. Alright. Once you get down to the end here, we're going to do our final knot. Pull it as tight as you can, because you do not want this coming undone. Alright, now snip off as close to the bracelet as you can get it, without cutting the loops. Now the ends from where we just cut, cinch that up with a lighter. And then flatten it out. Same on the other side. Then flare it out so it doesn't come undone. There you go. There's your Para-Cord fishing bracelet. Alright, take your color of choice and cut off about a 2 to 3 inch section. Alright, now we're going to singe one end so it's not going to fray and come undone. Alright, now we're going to take our hook, we're going to feed it in with the innards. Alright, once we have that, we're going to pinch firmly on the hook. We're going to grab the innards, we're going to pull on it. Now hold that tightly. We're going to cut right where that hook eyelet ends. I recommend getting yourself some sharp scissors, because if you don't have them, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Alright, once you do that, singe the end just a little bit so it doesn't fray, and push the hook up until the eyelet just pokes out. Now you're going to want to singe the rest. Be very careful because this is going to get hot. Now pinch it around the hook, just below the eyelet. That way it won't slip. Alright, now we're going to take our knife and break up the fibers. Once you got it broken up for the most part, you can actually just take a comb from there. Really, you just want to try to get these fibers as fluffy as you can get them. And once you've got the basics down, the possibilities of making these lures are endless.